I look down Waterloo here, just about a half a block down on the right. Ma and Pa Thompson had a little cafe. I'd walk in the door, she'd see me coming. The time I'd get seated, there was 2 hamburgers on the grill. Just a little further down, a few years later, started a law practice. A.D. Lindsay, Sarah's uncle, let me come with him, a 2-man law practice. Planned on being a country lawyer. Almost was. Standing right here, somewhere over in there, closer to there, almost the very spot, I tried my first lawsuit at the old courthouse here. And they were catching water in buckets, you know, as the roof was leaking, as we were walking around and arguing to the jury and so forth. So many memories, so many wonderful memories. But as wonderful as the past is, we're talking about the future tonight. And I've been able to see life from a lot of different vantage points. I've seen it from the factory floor at Murray, Ohio, in a graveyard shift, to the palaces of foreign leaders back when I was in the United States Senate. I've had a chance, I guess they ran that video again. I like it, it's just the way I wrote it. And I'll say to all you young men out there with a full head of hair, enjoy it while you can. But when I look at it and I reminisce a little bit and I think maybe I was able to step up and serve my state every once in a while. Maybe I was able to step up and serve my country. Been able to do a lot of different things, because a lot of people along the way oftentimes saw more in me than I saw in myself, I think. But you can travel around the world, but sometimes the most important things you find is right under your own roof. It's too bad a man has to be a certain age before he starts accumulating, hopefully, a little wisdom about certain things. But I've been blessed with being a very young father, and I've been blessed by being a father who's not so very young. And when I started this presidential talk, and I saw that it was a wide open situation, and I started thinking about the future, and I started thinking about the world and the country that these kids were going to grow up in and my grandchildren were going to grow up in, I got to wondering whether or not I was at my highest and best use. I was certainly enjoying life, doing a few things that a lot of people, I guess, would like to be doing. But my thoughts kept going back to that. What kind of country? And then the question occurred to me, how many people really have the opportunity to do something about it? So I stand here today before you not as somebody who's aspired to be president for a long period of time. Even when I went into politics, I put term limits on myself. I never intended to be a career politician. Came back, stayed involved, especially with national security matters. Didn't get quite as much publicity as law and order, but I was doing that all the time. But I didn't have those aspirations, and I don't come here tonight before you as somebody that pretends to have all the answers to the issues that are on the table and the ones that will be on the table that we don't even know about yet, and that will be on the plate of the next president. But I come to you as somebody who thinks he knows his country, and he knows her people, and he's concerned about her future. And he knows it's going to require strong leadership in these years to come, and that there are going to be things before the American people and on the table of the next president. Decisions about those things are going to determine the future of this country for a long time to come. And I'm determined that we make the right decisions about the security and the prosperity and the unity of this country, and that's why I'm running for President of the United States. I don't need to introduce myself to you folks all over again. But what I'm telling folks that don't know me nearly as well is that I'm the same fella who got in that truck in 1994 with what I call common sense conservative principles and went from one end of the state to the other, talking about the importance of the sanctity of life, talking about strong defense of the Second Amendment when others wouldn't defend it, talking about the importance of lower taxes, not just because it's the right thing to do, but because it helps our economy and fosters growth, which underlies everything else that we're all about in this country if we're going to have any prosperity at all. Talking about appreciation and respect for the rights of property in this country. Talking about the importance of free competition, free people. Talking about the underlying principles that this country was founded upon, based upon the notion that in this changing world there are some things that don't change, that they're handed down to us from the wisdom of the ages. And one of those things resulted in the Declaration of Independence that reminds us that our rights don't come from government, they come from God. And it handed us the Constitution of the United States, which pointed out to us the need to separate power, not too much power in too few hands. Separate the power, not only at the federal level, between the federal and the state level. That's called federalism, and it's meant to ensure liberty and freedom for our people. Based on the notion that not every solution to every problem is found in Washington, D.C. Based upon the absolute necessity at all costs to ensure freedom, to ensure individual liberty, political freedom, and economic freedom, and the fact that those things are all interrelated. You can't pick and choose one over the other. And it's based upon the notion that a government powerful enough to give you everything is powerful enough to take anything away from you. But every generation now has its hills to climb, and a few years have passed since those days. Some think the principles have changed. The principles haven't changed. The years have brought us new hills to climb. We now live in a time where a handful of the wrong kind of material and the wrong kinds of hands can result in the death of tens of hundreds of thousands of American people. That's the other side of technology that we have to live with. We just have to deal with. We have had war declared upon us by radical Islam, and it's a global war of which Iraq is only a part. It's not the totality of this war. It's much broader and deeper than that. These people have no principle. They have no rules to play by. They're intent on bringing the United States and Western civilization to its knees, and we must not show weakness in the face of this. It would make this country much, much more dangerous, and we would pay a